Let me ask all of you something. If fraud exists in trucking, does that mean data doesn't matter anymore? Because that's where this conversation is heading right now. I'm seeing people say the government data is corrupt. Carriers are sharing DOT numbers. CDLs were issued illegally. Brokers are exploiting ghost carriers. And then the conclusion becomes data doesn't matter. You see, I find that to be a very dangerous direction. So let's slow this down and separate what's actually happening because it's a little bit scary. There are two different arguments happening in trucking right now. Argument one is this: I've seen it with my own eyes. You've got drivers saying, I saw more foreign born drivers, I saw language barriers, I saw training gaps, I saw chaos at docks. So did I. That's real. Lane level change is very real. Then you have argument two. That's what caused the national rate collapse. Those are not the same claim. Seeing change in your lane is not the same as proven national causation. And that's where this debate gets very blended. Okay? Freight rates don't collapse because of what one corridor looks like. They collapse when total insured capacity surges, freight demand normalizes, liquidity dries up, financing tightens. And you see, during COVID, we had a $4 and $5 spot freight market where drivers were making a killing. Over 50,000 MC filings per month, loose equipment financing, record truck orders, stimulus capital flooding small businesses everywhere. It created a massive capacity expansion, not in one lane, across the entire country. So when supply materially outpaces demand, pricing compresses. So that's not cultural, it's not political, it's really simple math. So now let's address this new pivot. Data doesn't matter because there is fraud. Okay, fraud can exist. It always has. DOT number sharing can exist. Illegally issued CDLs can exist and is happening. Broker exploitation can exist. But fraud being present doesn't automatically invalidate structured data. If some accidents go unreported, do we throw out all the accident statistics? Absolutely not. What we do is we refine the model. If thousands of carriers are sharing authorities illegally, then quantify it. How many? What percentage of national capacity? Over what time frame? Without quantification, we're not analyzing anymore. What we're doing is speculating. And speculation doesn't fix markets. So before we throw the word data out the window, let's define what we're talking about, okay? When we say data in trucking, we're talking about a lot of things: active motor carrier authorities, insured power units, freight volumes, tender rejection rates, spot rate indexes, contract pricing trends, truck orders, trailer orders, insurance loss ratios. That's not one spreadsheet. That's an entire ecosystem of measurement. Now, is every data set perfect? No. No data set in any industry is perfect. But markets don't require perfect data. They require directional accuracy. If truck orders doubled, if new authorities surged, if insured exposure expanded, if freight demand cooled, you don't need perfection to see pressure building. You need pattern recognition. How do you think companies get so far ahead? Okay, so let's say fraud exists. Let's say 5% of capacity was ghost activity. Let's say enforcement was weak in certain states. Does that erase a 25 to 30% surge in total authorities? Does it erase 50,000 filings per month? Does that erase record equipment orders? No. Small distortions don't override massive surges. If national capacity increases materially, pricing responds. That's why even imperfect data sets still reveal a ton of trends, because when something is large enough, it leaves a big footprint everywhere. insurance pricing, spot rates, used truck values, tender rejections, carrier failures. When all of those move together, that's structural pressure, not anecdote. So here's why this matters beyond debate. If drivers are told, trust what you see, your eyes don't lie, data doesn't matter, what we're doing is opening a door to something else, a lot more, a lot more dangerous, and that's marketing. Because companies sell what you see: shiny trucks, big revenue screenshots, clean branding, big bold promises. Drivers chase the truck and then complain about the settlement. Why? Because what you saw was presentation, not mechanism. The same principle applies to this rate debate. What you see in your mirror is not automatically what moved national pricing. So you can drive 250,000 miles a year. You can run the same lane 40 weeks a year. You can see change every single week and still not be looking at the full picture. This is not disrespect, that's scale. Lane level observation is a sample. National freight pricing is aggregate. Very two different lenses. When we confuse them, we misidentify the cause. And when you fix the wrong problem, you make it worse, and that gets very, very expensive. So, look, this isn't about defending foreigners. This isn't about defending government. This isn't about defending brokers. It's about defending mechanism. If fraud exists, we need to expose it with numbers. If ghost capacity exists, we need to measure it. If enforcement failed, then we need to fix it. But abandoning math entirely leaves us arguing from emotion. And emotion doesn't negotiate freight rates. Supply and demand does. You see, anecdote tells you what you saw. Aggregate tells you what moved the market. Fraud can exist. Data can still matter. Shiny trucks don't guarantee you good settlements. And what you see in your lane doesn't automatically explain national pricing. Math doesn't care what it looks like. It cares about how many trucks are chasing how much freight. And this is Big Rig Nation, and we're going to tell you what's really happening in the trucking industry.